Talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it today, man. We're going to talk about it. Today's topic is about how people lose money in trading and how to stop it. All right. So we're going to talk about it, folks. So I got this one from ChatGPT. All right. So today's topic is about how to not lose money. So number one, what makes people lose money in trading? I would say the number one aspect is lack of education. Of course, that's cliche, but a lot of people think trading is something that you can learn from experience. And trading is one of those things you have to read the manual. It's almost like you trying to put a baby's crib together and you think you could just put it together by sight, nuts and bolts, but really you have to look at C, D, A, B, F, whatever, they tell you to do. You got to read the instructions. So, I would say that would be one reason. Now, how do they correct that? Of course, education. But what do they educate themselves on? Fundamental analysis, technical analysis. So technical analysis would be the biggest thing you need to learn trading. You could actually be bad at fundamentals and great at technical analysis and make money in trading. But you might not make a lot of money long term, and without fundamental analysis, you probably will be investing into any type of stock, not knowing, their income statements and if they're profitable or not. So you do kind of need both in order to be a great trader. But, I would say another reason a lot of people lose money in trading is risk management, and by trying to bite off more than they can chew. Eventually, a lack of risk management will catch up to you no matter how much money you have in your account. You can grow your account to, by luck. You may bet on some SPY puts and you bought, next week's expiration and your contracts went from $2,000 to $12,000. I've seen people who flip like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can get some beginner's luck. But one thing I want to tell people is those big moves like that don't happen every day in the market. And the reason, so one day the market is going to chop, and that's when most traders are going to lose their money, because they're hoping for a big trend. So let's just say if the market chops for a week, but you got weekly expiration contracts, you get what I'm saying? Now you have lost that big money that you bet in, and you bet your whole account. You see what I'm saying? So eventually people who go all in will eventually lose, because the market is going to chop one day. The market is not going to move these big giant moves every week, and they're going to want to trade every week, and they're going to try to flip their account every single week. So that's another reason why not knowing how the market moves and knowing when to do your thing and when not to. Timing. People time the market wrong, and they don't know how to time the market, if that makes sense. So that's another reason people lose. You could comment challenge if you want to. I would say another reason people lose money is I would say we got risk management, lack of discipline, and I would say that not having high probability setups, lack of discipline, not knowing exactly what works. A lot of people don't really have a strategy. If your strategy is, my buddy said, if your buddy is not profitable trading, it doesn't matter what he said. You can't go listening to people who have no track record of. So I would say that a combination of listening to people, because one thing about stocks, you cannot learn it without another person teaching you it. So everybody needs to understand that. So people be like, oh, why would I buy courses? Why would I do this? Why would I do that? You can't learn stocks without another person or a book. And guess who wrote that book? A person. So no matter what, we all got to learn from somebody, whether that's an author, whether that's a friend, whether that's a mentor. But one thing about stocks is nobody can technically sit down. Nobody is going to do that for free. I'll say that for sure. Nobody is going to sit down with you for free and say, here's candlesticks, here's that, here's support and resistance, here's volume, here's Fibonacci, here's the news outlets I use, here's that. Like, you got to understand, when people be like, why can't somebody teach them that for free? Why would somebody sit there for 6 hours for you and waste that whole 6-hour block, instead of spending time with their family, instead of going to work themselves, instead of trading themselves? Why would they sit there? I would say, for me, it'll take me 8 hours to teach somebody the stock market. A full 8, because I need at least an hour block for everything in order to teach you the full thing, right? So who the hell is going to dedicate 8 hours to you for free? Name a person on this earth. So you got to understand that too. When you be like, oh, why won't somebody do this for free? Why? You can't. You got to understand, you got to pay for people's time. I would rather pay for your time. So as I get older, I realize I don't want favors from people. I would rather pay, so that way you can't hold it over my head and say you did me a favor. So to be honest, I like to keep my distance in that way. Hey, look, I'll just pay for it. I don't want to hear your mouth later about how you put me on. Because think about it. If I bought something from you, that's that's a service at that point. So I do that for another reason of just pride and dignity. You know, I like to pay for things, and I like to get things quicker. I'm a speed person, because wealth is speed. So you also got to understand that too. Like, if you want to get rich quick, you got to take shortcuts. So learning it on your own is not the shortcut in the first place. So that's another reason why I personally invested in, I never invested in a mentorship, but I have invested in books. I probably spent maybe $1,000 in stock books. And then the rest, I would say, I'm going to tell y'all why I was able to pick up on things that most people couldn't, if I'm being honest. Because I was doing this Aristotle investment shit since 2018, and I've been in the stock market since 2016, what happened was other traders grew a liking to me. So I'm hanging around other great traders, and when you hang around other great traders, you guys exchanging information. So it just so happened that I was around other great traders and learned things from them, and they learned things from me. And I'll tell you who they were, the people who I work with. So, you know, Mike, Rav, and Brett and myself, but Mike and Rav weren't a member prior to it, but Brett was a member at one point. But Mike and Rav, I would say, would be the people who I've learned the most from in trading, and vice versa. We all learn from each other. Like, I brought the swing flavor to trading, and elite flavor to, you know, and Mike brought this day trading swag, and Unraveler brought his own flavor to day trading. So that's another thing. You have to learn from people who are good at what they do. So I just so happened to be around world-class traders and got cool with world-class traders, but a long time ago, before it was cool to be traders. Because you got to think, we've been knowing each other since 2018, 2019. So you got to think, if we've been trading before it was a thing to be a hater, before it was a thing to be, because you got to think, the new trend is to hate. The new trend is to isolate. The new trend is to, you get what I'm saying? It's trendy to be selfish. We were rocking before that time period. So we're ahead of our time. Back in the day, traders didn't care about all that shit. Let me tell you how much traders didn't care back in the day. Traders didn't care so much that other group chats would promote my book. That's how crazy it was back in 2018, 2017. Yeah, I said Brett. But you got to think, like, back in that day, it just wasn't like that. So that's why I was able to gain a lot of knowledge, because I came in the golden ages of trading. To me, the golden ages of trading is prior to 2020. Because after the pandemic happened, it became a little more competitive. It became a little more, you know, because everybody, I don't know what happened during that time. But, yeah, like, what about Brett? I just joined. No, Brett is great. I'm saying the people I learned from. You got to think, me and Brett started working together in 2022 or 2023. No, 2022. So I've been working with Mike and Rav since 2018, 2019. So my foundation came from myself and doing business with Mike and Rav of trading. And Brett came along, and Midas came along around 2021, 2022. So we were already 3 years established prior to Brett and Midas coming. But Midas and Brett were Honey Drip members, and they became a part of the team. So I've hired people who are members of Honey Drip. I've actually grew friendships with Honey Drip and everything. Back in the day, traders didn't focus on who's right and wrong, just on making money. Now it seems like traders worry about who's right or wrong, especially on X. Yeah, X is very toxic, but X is also very, like, the X traders are very scammy. Like, a lot of them are doing weird stuff with the crop screenshots, and it's just bad out here. Like, X is just, you can crop a screenshot, you can Photoshop something, and like, if you're very good at that, you don't even have to really, you just got to know general knowledge about the market. You can go scam on X. Any of you can go right now and just make up shit, and they'll believe you. I'm dead serious. Eventually you're going to get called out. Don't get me wrong. Everything comes to an end. It's not going to last forever. Somebody's going to call you out for scamming. But I'm telling you, like, X is like straight up the worst stock market knowledge that you can go look at right now. Like, if you want to make your brain mush, go read stock threads on X. If you want to not know about trading for real and you want to lose money, like, go on X right now and just go look at some of them. Are you worried about DDOG swing? Well, the market hasn't made decisions yet. So that's why it's in high risk, because we got to see if we're, you got to understand how the market is or how to do it. You got to risk on, or if you want to trade, sometimes you got to take risks. No risk, no Rari. So what's another reason traders lose money? Well, that too, reading into the wrong thing. I would say, what's another good reason you guys will lose money? Oh, lotto trading. Easy. Trading weekly expirations and trying to swing trade weekly expirations for a living. It's not a good idea. I already told you why, because eventually the market will chop. You can't avoid people. This is why lotto trading is bad, because if you're going to do weekly expirations, day trade, but you should always give a swing time, because there have been so many swings that I've held for over a month and then they hit. Yeah, not having an exit strategy too, like, and then bad advice. Another reason traders can lose money is bad advice. Like, it's this one trader teaching people to not have a stop loss. What he should have said is this should not go beneath this level. Like, what he should have said is, when I option trade and I have a support level right here, right, and that's my stop loss, and I don't care if I'm down 50%, 60%, I'm not going to exit unless it hits my stop loss, my level. So he said it wrong. Trading is not about, when option trading, especially when you got time on your contracts, you should not exit something just because it's down a percentage. You should exit something because it's, like, it broke your level. So a lot of people don't know that, and that's another reason a lot of traders lose money. You can't percentage trade with options. If you try to do that, you're eventually going to run into issues of exiting too early, or not holding long enough, and then that can affect your trading. So you have to learn how to size in. A lot of people don't know to size in. A lot of people, it's the ignorance. Because think about it, you guys are just coming into trading. How do you know to size in? How do you know what stop loss to have? How do you know what company is liquid to trade? How do you know to not trade today because we have CPI or data? How do you know these things just jumping in? That's why I tell people you have to take shortcuts. That's why I tell people to comment challenge, because you're not going to know all these things starting out. A YouTuber is not going to tell you, oh shit, wait for CPI on Thursdays. Oh shit, support and resistance just broke. Oh shit, a bear market is 20%. They're missing out so much information in those little beginners courses. And everybody, and y'all know that shit. They're missing out on volume. They're missing out on Fibonacci. They're missing out on flow. They're missing out on so many aspects that just aren't talked about when it comes to option trading. You gotta know what option flow is. You gotta know what everything is. You get what I'm saying? If somebody said, where's your long-term portfolio at? The market is down and I'm still up $500,000. That's the thing. You gotta lose to win. So I was at highs. I'm down 300K, right? Just transparently. But you gotta think, I'm up 850K. So I'm at like a 550 profit still, even with the market tanking, because I got in very low around like in 2021, 2020, 2022. So I bought a lot of stocks years ago. So think about it. I'm down 300 racks, but still up 500. So if the market tanks again, I'll probably be down to what, 350K. And then I'm going to buy so much of that dip that the next time the market rips, I'm going to be up millions. So you got to think, I don't care about being down 300K if I know this is long term. I'm not going to take profits on shares. I'm going to hold these for 10 years because I'm putting in what I could lose. A wise man said, never put all your eggs in one basket. That's why. Because think about it. I got money in high yield savings. I got money in crypto. I got money in stocks. I got money in real estate. So the stock economy down, but I got 6 million in real estate. See what I'm saying? Crypto may be down, but I got stocks. Stocks may be down, but I got a high yield savings. So that's why I diversify. When people be like, diversifying is stupid, see, that's the thing. The people who say diversifying is stupid sounds like the person who said don't use a stop loss. Because think about it. I just told y'all why. I just showed you how I'm hedged already. I got real estate and high yield savings. So I'm still up. You get what I'm saying? I'm good. But my stocks and crypto are down. You see what I'm saying? And I got gold. Gold is rising right now. So people shit on diversification. That's because they're not financially literate. Financial literacy will tell you, one thing I do is I do things by the book. I don't do what's cool, what's popular, or I don't allow people to put their theories or ideologies on me. I know what's good and for what reason. I know diversification is important. You get what I'm saying? Gold always good to have because you gotta think it's a one of one. You can't really create gold. It's natural, so its price will always rise. It's a commodity. That's it. I'm gonna just be honest, bro. It's a lot of shit that people just simply don't know. The stock market is not common sense. That's something I want people to understand. Common sense is breathing, talking, English words, knowing your adjectives, knowing your verbs, your pronouns, things like that. Like, that's common sense. Common sense is not the stock market. Common sense is not financial literacy. So here's another thing that I realized that we have wrong as black people. I can't say that the white man held us back because financial literacy is as simple as, like, No, he did help. My fault. I can say that, but I'm talking about like we can't say that during the 90s and 2000s that we were held back like that because the library was open. Yeah, they had welfare, they had all this shit, but we got the choice to learn right now, folks. Especially right now, we got the choice to learn. Nothing is holding you back right now. You can go get a credit card. You can learn. You can actually study the stock market. You can get a side hustle. You get an LLC. I just feel like if we read and put our minds to it, we can accomplish whatever we want to accomplish. I think too, and I was talking to 19 Keys about this on the phone, but I told him, entrepreneurship is the future. Yeah, the library was open, bro. Niggas want to say, oh, ain't nobody teach me nothing. Ain't nobody blah, blah, blah. What nigga is going around just saying, oh, here's how you make money? Nobody's doing that. You get what I'm saying? Like, we can sit here and be funny all we want, but the library was open. And ain't nobody going to sit down and tell nobody how to get no money. Nigga, I got to worry about teaching my kids. Like, so I can't put that on white folks or whatever we blaming this shit on. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, ain't nobody teach us nothing. Man, it was up to our parents and our grandparents to learn that shit to teach us. Whether we want to admit the truth or not, it wasn't up to them. They not our grandparents or parents. It was up to our parents to take their ass to the library and learn financial literacy. It was up to our grandparents to take their ass to the library and learn it. Unfortunately, they did not. But what they did focus on was civil rights. So let's give a hand to what they did do. They cared more about civil rights than financial literacy. But it's up to us. We are the generation. We are 60 years later. We are now the generation that needs to care about financial literacy. They said, I appreciate how transparent you is, man. 100. But you got to think, bro, like, it's not up to... So this is what I want to tell all black people. We are the generation that is going to carry the intellectual property on to our community about coming together, generational wealth, this and that. So that's why it's kind of fucked up when you got people like the Zeus networks, like the Love and Hip Hop, all these things who are pushing anti-progressiveness to black people because we are the generation that's supposed to make change, but they don't give a fuck because they want their Lamborghini, their Louis bag, and whatever, right? And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and you got to think, black people technically in America we're not cousins for real. So we don't look at ourselves like we are a nation. So that's another reason that people forget too. We're so diverse in the diaspora of black Americans that we don't even feel, we can't hear at the same time as my grandma. We don't even feel like we owe each other respect. We owe each other brotherhood sometimes. And I feel like we got to get out of that mindset too. We got to get into a mindset of once I left Africa, I realized that my people are African Americans. Once I left Africa, I realized, yes, I'm African, but I'm African American. He's African Ghanaian. He's African Tanzanian. He's South African. He's Liberian African. He's Senegalese African. Who are my people? Oh shit, my people are African Americans. What people are the closest to me? Who knows my culture? Who knows what I like to eat? Who knows my inside jokes? Who knows me? It's African American. So I started to realize, oh shit, that's my people. Our people are us. We are the diaspora. So we got to get into that mindset, but we don't know because we don't travel. We don't know we're different. We don't know that we are our own people, you know? So, I think that's something that needs to get into a lot of African Americans' heads is you are an African American. So you represent other African Americans. So be careful how you represent us. Don't do things to dishonor us because you represent us. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Because a Chinese person understands that I represent Chinese people when I do my actions. A Hispanic person understands I represent Hispanic people. But because we don't really have a nation in our heads, we don't realize that the dumb shit we doing represents us. So that's what I mean by we got to collectively come to agreement on a standard of living, or else we're going to keep embarrassing ourselves and who we are in our nation, which is African American. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I'm trying to tell a lot of African Americans, man, nigga, you represent everybody when you do that dumb shit. This shit fall on everybody. You get what I'm saying? So the more dumb shit you do, the less business people want to do with us. The less serious people take us. You get what I'm saying? The more progressive we become, the more serious people. Think about it. Do you take people serious if they ain't serious? Name somebody who's serious. Yeah. But name somebody who's unserious that you take serious. I don't take nobody who's unserious serious. So we look like an unserious race when you got a bunch of young men thinking it's cool to kill. We look like an unserious group of people when you got a bunch of women talking about how black men ain't shit all day. We look like an unserious group of people. So it looks, I'm going to be honest, it looks monkey-like. It looks exactly how people, how the stereotypes people say. It looks, because it looks like that to me. When I go on Twitter, it's a bunch of, in Instagram, still a bunch of young men with the wildest, craziest hair everywhere, with pointing guns at the screen, instead of trying to go get some legit money. And then the fact that so many young black men want to resort to illegal first. We don't even try the legal shit. We don't even, you get what I'm saying, like, give it a try. Niggas just jumping straight to the illegal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to change that in some way and that's what I'm here to do with the projects I'm doing and everything behind the scenes, is because it's too many, whether we want to acknowledge this shit or not, if we don't nip the detriments of the young black man in the bud quickly, it's just going to be a long cycle. So we have to somehow make it to where young black men are more serious about being intentionally legal and smart and honestly entrepreneurship, starting businesses. Black people need pipelines of hiring themselves because white people have it. Indian people have it. Asian people have it. Hispanics have it. They have restaurants, and we do already, but that's just the restaurant industry. We need to be having our own plants, where in our own farms. We need to be processing our own chicken. We need to, and then we'll be able to sell it to other people. We can sell it to white people. We can sell it to Indians. We don't have to just sell exclusively to black people. What we need is our own pipeline of jobs. So when niggas be like, oh, everybody don't have to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs hire people. So it would behoove us that we have more entrepreneurs in the black community, so that way we can provide jobs for ourselves just like everybody else do. So this is not racist of me saying this. For the people who aren't black who's listening to this, this is just a message to my people. We have to make as many entrepreneurs as we can, because that is how we hire ourselves. Just have to keep going and evolve. You have the opportunity, but it's bigger than that. We have to nation build. We need more jobs. We need more, honestly, we need more jobs. Because think about it, folks. We telling our people to listen to us, but we won't even give them shit. How can we expect these young men to listen to us and we're not providing them opportunities to earn money? He's a master too who feeds them. So if the street's feeding them, that's his master. It ain't us. So when y'all niggas clown what I'm saying, this is how deep it go. Why would I listen to you if you ain't feeding me? If this gang shit feeding me, this killing shit feeding me, this drug shit feeding me, that's my master. I can't go to no black man and go get me a job because I'm black. I ain't got shit. What we got? All we can do is what? Play sports. If that shit don't work, then what? If we gotta go work, we gotta go join the army. That's a white man's job. We gotta go do this. We gotta go do that. We gotta do everything except something that is employed and set an example by a black man. If I'm an Indian man, I probably got somewhere to go. If you get what I'm saying? And then even when we get help by black people, it's help within the white institution. So you get what I'm saying? Like, it's no real guaranteed. Like, if I'm Hispanic, I probably got a guaranteed job somewhere. If I'm white, I got a guaranteed job somewhere. If I'm black, I better know somebody. And I better, like, it's about how well connected you are as a black person. It damn near ain't like we got this little nation shit going on. You get what I mean? Maybe I need to check the market. Yep, you better know someone. They also have to want it more for themselves. Yeah, Asians with nail shops. Because we're held down for 400 years, we just start learning things that were kept from us. Join honeydripnetwork.com. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, I'm about to get out this live, folks. I see y'all.